I know I wrote a book, right? It's called Buy a Game and it's free. Click the link down there, you got it.
DreAllDay.com.
What up, everybody? Dre Baldwin, DreAllDay.com. This week's motivation is about being isolated. And often, first of all, we know what isolation is. It means isolation is when you're alone, when nobody else is around. When I'm talking about isolation here, I'm talking the type of isolation where your friends are not doing things with you. Nobody's getting involved in what you're doing. You're doing all this work. You're going to do this thing and that thing and the third thing, but nobody else is rolling with you. Even though they know about it, they're just choosing not to do what you're doing. And we know that being isolated, I hear from people, they say, I'm going to be the only one. None of my friends want to work out with me, but I don't care. I'm going to just keep going. I'm a warrior. I'm strong. I'm going to make it. But we know that human beings are social creatures. So when we feel isolated, that pain of isolation can be experienced the same way that we experience the pain of a physical injury. So isolation is something that we need to address in a way that what I'm going to do in this week's motivation is help you address it in a way that you're going to start to feel positive about it. And not only just because I'm going to give you this rah-rah motivation, I'm going to give you 3 reasons why that isolation is actually going to help you. Number 1 reason that isolation helps you is this. When everybody's doing the exact same thing, there is no opportunity. Your opportunity is in doing the thing that most people won't do. All of you have heard the cliche, do the things most people won't do so you can have the things most people won't have. And the reason it's a cliche is because it's based in truth. If everybody's doing the exact same thing, all your friends want to do the same thing. Everybody's in the gym working out. There's no opportunity there. So then you say, well, Dre, what does that mean? Don't work out? No, it doesn't mean that. It means you work out longer than they do. You get there before them, you leave after them. When you're working more than most people, when players ask me, how long should I work out or how hard should I work? Just look around. When you see other people doing the same as you, you're not doing enough. You got to do more. The opportunity exists where most people pass on it. All right, that's number 1. Number 2, being isolated helps you develop emotional muscle. Emotional muscle is the same as a conditioning muscle, just as like, let's say, lifting weights. If you go to the gym and you want to get bigger muscles, what do you have to do? You have to lift weights that are a little bit heavier than you're used to lifting. You lift those weights, you might struggle and push really hard to lift those weights, that weight one time or a certain number of reps, what have you. When you lift those weights, what happens? You break up the muscle fibers in that muscle. The muscle has to repair itself stronger than it was before so that that same stress doesn't break the muscle fiber again. And that way the muscle gets stronger over time. And eventually you can lift heavier and heavier and heavier weights, basically. In an overall sense of lifting weights. I know there are details into it. But the same way it works with your emotions. When you feel that pain of isolation, when you're by yourself taking advantage of the opportunity that other people don't see or other people think doesn't even exist, you develop the emotional muscle, the emotional strength of being able to handle being by yourself. And then when you are strong enough to be by yourself and you don't need people, you'll find that other people are going to start to need you. Number 3 thing that you're going to get from being isolated is this. Number 1 key to being a leader is that you cannot need people. They say you can't lead people if you need people. Now, of course, to be a leader, you're going to have people following you. You're going to have people trusting your word. You're going to have people looking at you for direction as to what to do next. But understand, if you need those people, you are not a leader. A leader is a person who has people who follow, who has people who trust in their steps, who follow in their path. But the leader does not need those people. If those followers decide to go away, they don't want to do the work, they don't want to walk that path, they don't want to trust that leader's word, guess what? The leader will find some new followers. The leader will keep moving forward. Understand, a leader is not necessarily about how many people you have behind you. A leader is a person who inspires and motivates other people to be better and do better themselves. And that can be something that you do from afar. That can be something you do when you're isolated and by yourself because people see the work that you're doing, they're not willing to do. So to recap, 3 things you're going to get from being isolated and why you want to thrive in your isolation in life. Number 1, the opportunity exists where most people are not there, and that's what isolation is. Number 2, you develop the emotional muscle, the same way you build up your bicep muscles or your leg muscles from stressing those muscles over and over again so they make themselves stronger. That's the same way you build emotional muscle through being isolated. And the number 3 thing you're going to get from being isolated is you're going to start to develop your leadership skill. A leader does not need people. A leader leads people because of the fact that he or she does not need other people around them, and that's exactly who you're going to become. That's your motivation for this week. Work on your game. DreAllDay.com. Thanks for watching this video. I'm sure you were entertained. Make sure to stay connected with me on all your favorite social networks. Twitter and Periscope at DreAllDay, Instagram Dre Baldwin, Facebook /WorkOnYourGame. You can bookmark my YouTube channel by subscribing, of course, and the website is workonyourgame, that's .me, workonyourga.me. And of course, my homepage is my website, DreAllDay.com, so you can know exactly what I'm doing, exactly when I'm doing it, and how you might be able to be involved.